Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent? You want to have consumer debt freedom? You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses through real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-module course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and it put you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money. Thank you for joining us for another amazing show. And before we get started, make sure you like the video, share it, and subscribe to the 7 Spheres of Money on YouTube. Now, let's go ahead and start the show. So tonight, we have the Queen, Miss Astoria Stubbs, the broker, owner of Great Lakes Property Management Group, Tonia Archibald, and the author, entrepreneur, teacher, professor, speaker, and anything else that I'm forgetting, Miss Onedia Gage. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing great, Nick. Thank you so much.
We good.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump right in and deal with some current topics, current events. So, well, by the time that this recording comes out, we will be, I think, 2 weeks past Father's Day weekend and Juneteenth. So we've been dealing with those topics on our other programs, Bet on Black, the men's edition, and also Nick's Knowledge and Notions. We dealt with fatherhood, and we also dealt with Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday. So we'll start with the Juneteenth topic, and I would like to get you all's take on it. Well, first, do you celebrate it, and then get your take on Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday. So let's and then we also have two Texans, Texas residents here. so we can get that unique perspective as well on Juneteenth. So okay, let's go ahead and get into it.
And I'll just tell you the history. Basically, that was when what Onedia was trying to tell you was that was when Texans found out they were free. So actually, federal troops came into Galveston, Texas. So they were monuments in Galveston into Galveston, Texas, and basically told the slaves that they were free or whatever, right? Which happened 2 years later, right? We won't even get into why it took 2 years, right? Because Texas think that they own continent anyway. So anyway, but that is what it is, and it became. I have celebrated ever since I was a kid. I'm from Houston. I was in every single Juneteenth parade, so I know nothing but the history of Juneteenth and all the things that happened, stuff like that. So I've always celebrated, and I never knew why other people didn't until I became like older and real radicalized, and I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the history. Onedia, did she was here?
Are you back, Onedia? I am back.
Okay,
Okay.
so Astoria gave the history.
I heard her, and I did what she just said. So let me just explain the piece where when I found out that it was even on the books to be a national holiday, I said, well, one more way to make Texas great. That was my position.
Mm-hmm.
My thought was that if we're gonna come together as a people, and we're having a very hard time doing that, for various reasons, this was maybe the decision behind the movement was the decision to come together. We keep asking for stuff, things, dates, times, places in order to rectify the wrongs. And at some point, we've got to say, this is what's going to do it, because we can't fix it, we can't change it, we can't undo it. So what is going to satisfy our souls, our spirits regarding, what was the rectification of the matter? And so for me, it's a thing when we came together, they came together and did it. And there are people who are championing for it that, are not even from Texas. But, it became a thing where people, they can appreciate the concept and they appreciate the flavor behind it. So I believe that it's not a bad thing. I think it's a thing where it's a thing that really could bring us together. It doesn't pacify, it doesn't change anything, it doesn't take away the harm, but it is a recognition of this is what took place. Slavery ended. And that is the nature, I feel, of the celebration. And so I hear that people are upset. And I like the fact that we could come together and figure it out. And I like the fact that it was immediate. And so there are things we just have to figure out how to embrace and manage a little bit better. Okay. My thought.
Before Astoria jumps in.
Oh, y'all got it. I'm gonna let y'all have it because I'm coming in hot.
Yes. So I am a non-Texan. So and I know that this has been deep in you all's history, embedded. But from someone that's not from Texas, this was not something that was embedded in us. Why wasn't this part of a lot of our history? I mean, it was probably mentioned, but it wasn't part of our history. So that's my concern with that. But on the other hand, I have to agree with Onedia. This is something that we can celebrate. We understand that it commemorates the end of slavery, maybe 2 years afterwards, but still, it commemorates slavery, but it's a little more than that to me. And for others, it's a way of celebrating our achievements, our community, doing things to really understand each other culturally. So while Texans, probably this has been, celebrations been going on forever, people outside, this is kind of, I wouldn't say new, but to the average person, I would say probably 10 years ago is when I started celebrating Juneteenth. And as opposed to, and a lot of people think it's this or that. If you're gonna celebrate Juneteenth, you shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July. And I have my own opinion on that. So, and I don't think that that's the case for me. I think that we're all Americans. I'm an American. We want things to be equal. We want things to go forward. So whilst we can add to it, I don't think we have to separate from it as well, because I am Black and I am an American. So that's my view. So I'll let you go, Astoria.
All I'm gonna say is, and Onedia, you could agree with me with this because you have an education background. If it's so celebrated and it's so freaking important for you guys, why do 15 states not even allow slavery or anything that Black history to be in their school books? Number two, how you gonna appease me with a damn federal holiday when that just makes it easy for you to be off? You get to be off too and celebrate it. No, make it a holiday just for me. I don't want to celebrate my holiday with you. I'm sorry. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with you. You get to be off. Then in other states, they was like, oh, well, we only get to approve 12 federal holidays. So you know what? Even though it's a federal holiday, our government says, as the governor, I'm saying this is not a paid federal holiday, right? So I'm just saying, I'm not saying we shouldn't celebrate. I'm okay celebrating Juneteenth. I think it's an amazing thing that people understand it now. But as a person that's from Texas, right, born here, but my family's from Mississippi, understanding my background and, like what I was raised, I feel like you're trying to appease me by not giving me what I asked for. And so I could care less about a damn federal holiday. Change police reform, change the education system, change the shit that fucking matter. Oh, I didn't mean to drop that bomb.
Yeah, you did. You did.
But like real talk, change the stuff that matters. Like they don't talk about slavery in school. They
right.
Oh, most masters were really nice to their slaves. You a goddamn lie. Like,
right.
Oh, now like let's teach real history. And I'm not saying this is what happens in Texas. I'm just saying overall, from what I've seen in education, you don't learn about it. Right. When I was in school, we learned like a little tiny
bit
because of my parents. I understood slavery, and my mom was in the first, integrated school. So I understand my history from my parents, not from what I learned in school. And so I hate that people say, oh, well, if we talk about slavery and we talk about these things, they're going to make people hate America. Well, we already hated America anyway. Really, you brought us over here. The people that came here was already here, Native American, however, right? You brought us over here, made us do your damn dirty work, and then don't even want us to be a part of what we built. Like, we built all this shit. You couldn't even have a red light without me. You couldn't have a without my brown blood. Like, you know what I'm saying? So don't appease me. I'm sorry. You just can't appease me with that crap.
I have a question, Astoria. So by making this a federal holiday, and I understand your frustration. I can feel I hear your passion, and a lot of your stuff is so valid, and I feel you on that. But let me ask you this, by making it a federal holiday, for people that don't know, I know we need to get in the schools and doing all that. I'm not talking about the appeasing part. I'm talking about the awareness part. So by making it a federal holiday, do you think that it can bring more awareness to people to understand? Sometimes people don't know what they don't know. So I'm not looking at it as a federal holiday for appeasement, but I'm thinking of it for awareness. Now, this may be a start, not to fix, but a start for awareness. And that's the first thing that you need in order to fix things. So do you think that? I'm just...
I think it's a little bit of awareness, but here's the thing. Again, I said 15 states don't even allow Black history to be taught, or any type of African-American history to be taught. So if the parent isn't going to teach them, and not all parents even understand. So let's just say you bring an awareness, right? To your community. You got to have somebody actually come and teach these things, or tell you about it, or have somebody educated on it, right? Because not everything on Google is true, but you get what
I understand. Right?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, is it really? Because it's still illegal or not federally acceptable for a teacher to teach African-American history or slavery or studies in 15 states. And if the curriculum is set a certain way, you don't even, honestly, in Texas, I don't even think you really have to learn about it. I mean, it might be like there were slaves and this is what happened. And really they like slide over it. From what I saw in my niece's textbook, it was like indentured servants type of stuff. And I was like, hey, that's not what happened. We wasn't no sharecroppers. They was beating the hell out of us and making us do in the middle of the sun. Right? So I think it's awareness on one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, how you gonna bring awareness to something, but then don't try to do nothing else surrounding that. So great that we passed a bill to make it a federal holiday. Where's the other stuff?
I agree. I totally agree. And it's just not slavery, it's Black history, it's all of that. When we grew up, because it was embedded in I had African-American educators. And so that was a very part of our upbringing. And it just wasn't in February. And that was another thing. And so I was fortunate, and the people in our school district was fortunate to have that. And I understand there's so many people that don't. So I am a big proponent of, and like I said earlier, even before you said it, it's not in our curriculum. We wasn't taught it. So, so for me, it's so many Tonias that's not taught that, that, I mean, I was taught it, but most people wasn't. And so many of us that hasn't. So this could be the first step. Oh, mommy, daddy, why am I getting this day off? What does this mean? It can be a start. Is it going to be no, but
I have a question for y'all. I got a question for both of y'all. So how many people do you know, or you think what the percentage is of people accurately knowing that the Emancipation Proclamation did not flee the slaves? Like, how many people really think that was the one, like for real, they really think that was the one piece of legislation? Oh, the slaves were free. Actually, no, that was something he said, right? Like we made, but it didn't really abolish slavery. Like it really didn't, right? We took the whole war, right? And still, even after that, which is how you go into the politics of foolishness, right? Like politics of what was happening. Yeah, we all said we was gonna be a part of this union thing. Okay, we lost. So gradually we just don't do whatever they told us to do. Right? But how many kids are taught that or assume that the emancipation, like, oh, it abolished slavery? No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Read a new history book.
Right. And I would say that most people think that because that's what we were taught. I mean, I understand that. That's what we were taught. So so what do we do? I mean, this is our first step. So what's next? How do we get there? What type of advocating do we need to do? Yay, this is great. We're celebrating it. And again, I just feel and I just hope that because there's so many people that didn't know about it, maybe now people can start, you know, like you said, let it start from at home. Okay, I'm getting this off. What are we gonna do in order to really celebrate this? Is it just a day off? Or are we gonna
people use it as?
Yeah, is it just a day off? Or are we gonna have programs? Are we gonna advocate? Are we gonna, you know, use it as something to move it forward? What are we gonna do? Or is it just another day off that we get? So
if you let the government tell it, it's just another day off that we get. But go ahead, Onedia. You know, I'm gonna let you, girl, I need you to come in with this whole education thing, because I know you know.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, after this message. Stay tuned.
Hi, so this is a testimonial for DJ the Money Coach. First of all, I got one of the best packages that you had, so that was A1. I love the team. They have really come through. You were amazing as a coach. Every week you showed up on time. Every single week, and trust me, I've been in a lot of courses, a lot of classes, spent a lot of money, and unfortunately some people don't do what they say that they're going to do as a coach.
Hello everybody, my name is Terry. I recently just linked up with DJ the Money Coach, and he's been very helpful, gave me a lot of information, told me how I could turn my personal credit into business credit, also showed me how I can pay for a personal vehicle through my business and corporation setup, and also set me up with Melvin to help me actually put together a will, a power of attorney, a Roth IRA.
I definitely would highly recommend DJ the Money Coach. He's very personable. He's actually real. He actually does meet with his clients. You know, I'm happy for that. And he actually has a team that he works with that, you know, that are actually real. They do call people, so they will call you. So that's kind of why I want to rock with DJ the Money Coach.
Nick, what you think?
Well.
Oh.
Yeah, let me tell you, and it's okay. Go hard. I mean, I'm probably as a non-Texan, I'm probably.
I learned about, you know, I'm a non-Texan. Also, not only am I a non-Texan, but I'm a what they call us up north folks.
Northerner.
Northerner, carpetbaggers.
Yep. Privilege. That's that black privilege up there,
privilege, baby. Okay.
Yeah, wait, don't they call us Yankees or something like that?
Yankees, yep. Listen, you live above the Mason-Dixon line, okay?
Yeah, way above it. Way above it.
Yeah, what you know about it.
I learned about Juneteenth at a young age from, you know, in church, because we had one of our church members was really, you know, heavy into, you know, studying history. So he used to organize the Juneteenth events, you know, for church. And of course, it always included a barbecue, but but there was also some lessons in there too. I remember one year, this was much later on, after I'd been in college for a couple of years, and I took a couple of classes in my African American Studies minor. He asked me to bring some books, so I brought some books too that he had on display for the Juneteenth event. But so I was exposed to it as a child, very young, even though I am a Northerner, carpetbagger, Yankee.
Yankee.
Yeah, but yeah, I had a couple of thoughts about it, because I had some thoughts about the federal holiday. I had some thoughts about emancipation, too, because Astoria mentioned the Emancipation Proclamation. So I'll start with that, actually. And also to add in the idea about the 13th Amendment that shows that slavery actually technically didn't end, because if you're convicted of a crime, slavery is still legal.
Yep.
Yeah, so
See, I wasn't even gonna go down that path, Nick.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to. I mean, if you're going to talk about emancipation, you're going to talk about Juneteenth, you got to talk about the whole 13th Amendment, the whole thing, both articles and all of that. So you got that. So Juneteenth acknowledges and celebrates the ending of slavery, comma, in Texas, and that's referring to the physical slavery as long as you're not convicted of a crime. So since that form of slavery ended and is over with, and Tonia's talking about the programs, my thought is, how do we translate that into our present time? So if slavery meant physical bondage, chattel slavery during that time, what does slavery and freedom, what does freedom mean in 2021? Like, how can we translate that into the present day? Because the slave owner, it translates for them because they still benefit from that system. That's old money that got passed down generation after generation after generation. Corporations, insurance companies, to insure their product, their slaves. These companies are still, going right now. So what does freedom mean for Black people in 2021? That's actually tangible. Aside from just celebrating and of course, tying this into the federal holiday is going to lead to us taking our resources and giving it right back to them. When we're having these barbecues and buying their food and all of that, and then when we have our Juneteenth programs, and in all transparency, I was at a Juneteenth celebration where people were mostly, having a good time, partying and, music and food and all of that. But it was sponsored by one of these corporations too. It was one of the sponsors. So, so what does freedom mean for Black people in a tangible, 7 spheres of money, equity and ownership sense, especially when we're giving our money right back to them.
Right back.
And we still having debates and conversations and begging, Congress for reparations, so.
Yeah. And
I ain't begging them for nothing.
And I was going to go into that, ask about in terms of the reparations. So, I know, and I know, I just wanted you all know the thoughts about that. I know Evanston, Illinois is one of the first cities, I believe, that started giving back in terms of, reparations. I mean, I look at, the what the Indians do, they I'm just saying, so what are you all thought about the reparations, and does it mean anything? And will that, if we do get it, does that matter? What does, and I hear about the fight about it. What does it matter? Does it matter or not?
If you give reparations, here's the thing, we would America already bankrupt, right? But it would like seriously bankrupt the country, which is why it's never gonna really pass. So my whole thing when it comes to reparations, for me, it's giving me equal opportunity. So systemic racism is giving me equal opportunity to get to where you are, right? Like you got 450 years, 500 years of, head start on me, right? So it's not necessarily to me a physical dollar amount, because there's no amount of money to appease me for whatever you did to my family, right? Or to my ancestors. You can't appease me for that, right? But what you can do is give me a head start, right? Or, make it easy accessible for it not to be so much systemic oppression, right? And that is something that is going to take a long time to change. Like right now, if we really talk about it, like only thing that they really did to be like, oh, we equal. Oh, so we're going to celebrate Pride Month, right? And we're going to throw that in with the African Americans at the same time and make sure that everyone feels happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really wasn't a whole, like, let's celebrate the Black people. Let's, give them, it's like, oh, it's Pride Month. And guess what? It's also Juneteenth. Let's give them a federal holiday, right? And when you look at the legislation that happens, most of the legislation is really centered around LGBT and then Black people, right? Like if you pay attention to the bills and the things that are going up or what, the things that are happening, which is why I'd be like, give me a head start, right? Matter of fact, when I decide I want to start a business, give me the money I need to start my business. That's exactly what you give all these other white counterparts or whatever. It doesn't mean I'm not going to work hard for it or not, live up to the standard. It's more of you. When I say you, I just mean the government.
I know, I understand.
Are not really helping me. You just finding a way to keep me down, right? Whether that's through the 13th Amendment with shadow slavery, like the same thing, right? Whether that's not letting me, I won't say not letting me, but you give me this position, but you want me to pay me the same amount as my white counterpart, right? Not only am I down one from a woman, right? But God, dog, man too. Like,
I get it.
I got color and feminist. God, dog, how much more are you going, and it's not that most of the times we're overqualified, we do more, you know what I'm saying? This is an example, right? Now we have, parental, when the daddy have a kid too, like if the parents have a kid, but now like the daddy get to have time off, what's that called? Like paternity leave.
Paternity leave.
Right. Paternal leave.
Mm-hmm. For what? I mean, I think it's great, right? I think it's good. They need to be off together. But for real, that's your way of like making it be better for women is to get a man time off too. Okay. You discriminate against me, like, oh, she's pregnant, so we're not gonna hire her because she can't do her job. Like, I'm just saying, those are simple things. That ain't even bringing it into a white thing, and then to fix those things, like letting us be able to get ahead.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying a reparation for you to make it, to give you a little head start, to give you the loans that you'll give your counterparts to start a business. I'm
not even a loan. I'm talking about free money, because
free money, okay, grants or whatever, free money,
all of that, right? Not to just Joe that's sitting on the street that just want to collect welfare checks, right? And I'm not saying like that, but people that are out here contributing to the American dream or to the community, we're being vital parts of our society, right? Creating jobs, businesses. It shouldn't be like so hard for you to be able to do something, right? It shouldn't be all this. You can't knock down a door to make something happen. Like, it shouldn't be that hard for you to do it, because it sure ain't hard for the white people to do it at all. They get the white farmers all the money. Black farmers over here like, damn, we providing the same type of food for y'all. We just trying to make sure, we all eat healthy. But we money. Even though they passed that reparations thing for farmers.
For farmers. Anita, all right.
Story. I'm glad you mentioned free money, because I'm glad you mentioned free money, because we know that debt is another modern form of slavery. But
Free money. I don't want you to go in debt trying to create no businesses, baby. They need to forgive. Everything is forgiven. Student loan forgiven, everything. Oh, you want me to go to school? No problem. I'm gonna go to school and work and be a vital part of society, but school needs to be free, period. Like, well, I don't mean like that. Just for me. It's free for me.
All right. Okay. Anita, you back with us?
Oh, so can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yay. Oh my goodness. So I was listening to everything that was said. I think the only thing that I have to add is that at this point, I think they don't know what to do. We don't have a solution that is viable. And every time we offer one, they find a way to discount it, discredit it, turn it down, and make up an excuse. And so it's not, as Astoria said, it is about an appeasement. That was what, that's what they've done. It is the at least you could do. They've done the least they could do. When you say the least you can do is this, and they think that the least they can do was not just a start, but was the permanent fix. It is unfortunate that we're in a situation where 15 states are not allowing, to teach American history properly. They want to sweep that part under the rug. That's unfortunate as well. I do believe that a movement, the next piece of a movement, starts with us as a group collectively working toward what does this really look like, and coming to the table with a viable response, where that viable response is a no wiggle room situation. So I feel like that is one of those parts. I will tell you that in the state of Texas, we do have the option to have an African American Studies classes in lieu of one of the current history courses and get credit for it to graduate. And I feel like that was a milestone in Texas, a very red state that we're working to flip blue. We are currently working to get the current governor out of his position and get a blue governor that can function and move some things around for us. So I believe that in the grand scheme of it all, we need to make some progress. We're not anywhere near where we need to be. And we do need to make some progress. Astoria makes great points, and I do appreciate her passion. It's one of those things where you can't let somebody else help you get this right, and we all have to get into the same room and do the work. And it doesn't necessarily matter if we agree on how the work gets done or what the outcome is. It's just we all need to get to the table and do the work. And so, Astoria, I was thinking about, what can Astoria do? And then, of course, if Astoria does it, of course, you're gonna pull me into it, so that's fine. So, but what can Astoria do? Is it a publish a curriculum? Is it to write letters? Is it to, make some commercials, make some speeches, do some things that require people to pay attention and get some awareness that they previously did not have?
Anita, I don't mean to cut you off, but I can tell you what the curriculum is. It's critical race theory curriculum. What do you mean? Like, it's already out here. A lady already literally got awards for writing this curriculum, not implemented. Like that's something that it's counterproductive. Thank you. There you go. That word.
Sometimes we have tools, but that tool does not have a voice or legs. And so one of the things is that if she's written the curriculum and that you trust and believe in, then that may be a baton passing. You take the baton and say, I can take it from here, and advocate for that curriculum on all levels. And that may be where you go from there. And so it's things like that again are part of critical organizations like NAACP, Houston Area Urban League, or then the Astoria Network, something of that nature, where you just, go in and do that and come out, in that. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to find you nothing to do. Trust that.
All I'm gonna say is we already infiltrated the NAACP. They ain't shit. They ain't doing shit. They ain't been doing shit. They ain't gonna start doing shit.
That's why I said the Astoria Network. See, that at that point, then it's Astoria's nonprofit who gets grants, monies, and all that kind of thing to go do the advocating, and it needs to happen. Again, you have to understand that I'm about a solution. I know that there are problems. But I don't spend a lot of time just talking about, the problem is this. No, the next conversation is the answer is what? And so for me, it's one of those things where we go with an answer. They got a little answer. It's called the Juneteenth federal holiday, where You know, you got to choose your holidays. It's by request only. Allstate insurance said it was by request only, by request. I see you had a request to be black to be off. No shade on Allstate, but my point was you have a lot of black agents who own agencies in your organization. I hope that you didn't share it like that with them. I hope that they were not told in that fashion, because at some point you got to ask yourself what to do. And I think that we have to assert our authority again. Every time we do that, you know, we have to assert who we are and what we do in our life and take care of things. I just don't feel like people, you know, my latest statement in life is, if this were if your wife or girlfriend was experiencing this problem, sir, would you be having the same reaction? And most of the time the answer is, I didn't view it that way. I said, I know. I said, you didn't view it that way because you don't respect me as a woman and you don't respect me because I'm black. But what we're not going to continue doing is doing that today, because my money spends just like anybody else. And I promise you there's an alternative. You're not the only solution to this problem. I can find someone else to do whatever this job is and whatever this product is, this technology. I can find someone else. And I promise you, you won't like it when I get through. And I'm just as good a tweeter, Facebooker, and I'll find my IG password for you so I can let you know how I really feel. Let me explain. When Marriott got cut loose a few years ago, when I cut loose Marriott, I told everybody on Instagram and Twitter, and I mean on Facebook and Twitter, and they instantly got in my inbox. Miss Gage, can we call you? Do you mind if we have a conversation? Shoot. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about what?
And then talk about.
And then talk about. I am no longer a loyalty member with you, and I will promise you that I will be going right over to the Hilton, and I'm a diamond member with Hilton now. Call me on the phone, diamond member at Hilton. Let me know, because that means everywhere I go, I start with Hilton, and if I cannot get a Hilton property, you will figure out how not to treat me, and then you will figure out what the power of my dollar is, the power of my voice is. You'll understand how many dollars you miss playing with Onedia Gage. That's what you do not want to do. That's not a thing you want. That's not what you want. You do not want her to get on. Dale Incorporated, they on the runway right now. You do not want me to put you on Twitter. You definitely don't want me to put you on Facebook. I'm telling you that right now. I have stopped a many of purchases behind my Twitter and my Facebook. You don't want me to impact your bottom line. I promise you I can do it for you.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. After this message, stay tuned.
I created STEAM, STEAM. It's science, technology, engineering, access, and mentorship. And people might say, well, what happened to the math? Well, to me, it's self-explanatory. If you're going to be an engineer, you got to be good at math in some capacity. How does that translate when you go in these boardrooms with these Fortune 500 companies who just want to take money out of our community? How do you get them to, humanize our experiences and actually give us the value without us having to be validated through their lens? People don't understand, when you start out in business, you got to pay your team first before you pay yourself. I'm gonna say it. You got to pay your team first before you pay yourself, because you're invested in a system. I'm excited about meeting you guys because I think you're stumbling on something that's going to actually dissolve that system and actually make you as the #1 player in the industry. Can you talk to that a little bit?
You know what I can say? I can say that I have chills, right now at 4:19 Central Time, Thursday, March 4th, 2021 in Austin, Texas, hearing you say that. And I actually want to refer back to this clip whenever it is that we, do achieve some milestone like $100 million of gross written premium.
The DJTMC Financial Expert Series is the #1 show featuring the hottest business professionals, working professionals, and entrepreneurs, from the seasoned vets to the rising stars. Email Nick at djthemoneycoach.com if you have what it takes to stand among the greats. Now back to the program.
Well, I sent the link to you. I sent the link in our group to an actual recording, so you can know that critical race theory is not something that's just one person. It's a people behind it that's doing it. It's a Black chick that has her own show that kind of talked about it too. So it's just like a little clip so you can know. And since you're about solutions just like me, you know, you live in Houston with me, I'll let you know the next time the Black store has a meeting. So shout out to the Black store in Houston. 2 Black brothers that came up with a Black-owned beauty supply store, but it's more than that. It's a Black experience with their own money, with funding from the community. But no, we didn't take no loans out or nothing like that. And they are actively creating solutions in the community on Sunnyside, like literally actively. And they have an education committee where they be fighting the stuff that HISD be doing, because, you know, HISD foolishness be happening. But, you know, that's just a Houston, Texas problem. But if, you know, if that's what you need, so if that's what we need solutions, you know, I'm on the ground fighting every day for my community and what I'm doing. And I actively, if you never see me ever again, I bet you can see 1,000 times why I posted a Black business, supported a Black business, intentionally go to Black businesses, tell you to buy from Black businesses, like, here it is, here's the farmers, here's the people, here's how you get the food, here's everything. Like, here it is. I don't do things no more. Like, I don't have time for that. I actively give my dollar back to my Black community. And within my friends, within our network, we share money together. So whether it's I'm purchasing a service from you, the transaction is going to go to your account. Now, you may come back and pay me for something else later, but we actively circulating this dollar to make it happen intentionally.
And I'm proud to know you're doing that. I'm proud of that for you. I'm proud of that for us, because that's what it takes. When you look at economics, the economic picture of us is terrible. It talks about how we spend our money less than one time. There's a less than one cycle of our money in our community. We have the most disposable income because we don't spend it on things that are necessary. We have the highest retail target market in the world. They talk about that. They studied our behavior and our habits, and we are not showing well on paper. We're not showing well on paper at all. So I think that there's a change that needs to come. And again, like I said, it's about education and implementing that education into a solution. So I applaud you for being that way. That's why we let you just run off Astoria, because we already know that she's hot and she's mad, but that's because she's studied and she's purposed and she's educated. She has you know, you don't have to prove it to me. I already see it. So like I said,
like I tell people,
I want the hot one.
I ain't new to this. I'm true to this, baby. You ain't met my parents yet.
So, Nick, when you asked about what does freedom mean in 2021, that's what it means. That means having your own. That means sharing within a community. That's what that means. That means, I would say, even I have to pride ourselves at Great Lakes. 98% of our stuff, we employ Blacks, we give it back, we're feeding, we're in the community, you know. Yes, I can probably go somewhere else and get the same job done by someone out of our community, but that's not what we're about. We're in the community, giving jobs to the community, helping the community. And so that's what freedom is. That's what freedom in 2021 is. Keeping it.
I want to add on to what you just said, Tonia, and I'm so sorry for cutting you off.
No, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
That's why when we look at young women and we ask, why does she behave that way? She doesn't have an us in her life. She doesn't have a mentor, a coach, a mom, a teacher, or somebody who has said, come here, baby, come here. Come see. Come, let me talk to you. Come here right here. And we have to get them trained to also listen to wisdom. So you've never heard it, you've never seen it, you don't know. So you got to come here. When you do that, Tonia, you are training them to go out and do their own thing, see what they doing, see value in what they've done. And whether they work for someone else that's African-American or not, they still understand the value of work and work ethic, being able to be fair to people, being able to be honest and have integrity, being able to carry out the work that needs to happen. Because of what I don't like is when we see somebody and they won't hire a young lady or a young man even because of the way they behave, because they've never been trained. And I don't like that. That bothers my spirit.
Yeah. And that's what we do. We help people with that. And I know you talked about trades, Astoria, whatever. We help someone that probably can't go into a place and with the interview and get a job because of past or because of they just don't know, they're not trained to. So that's what we do. We're giving people not even second chances, first chances a lot of times. And so that they can feed their families, that they can, do that, that they can learn a trade, they can do this. So, and so that's what freedom is. And I believe if we keep doing that and keep it in our community and keep mentoring and keep teaching and keep pouring back in our community, because guess what? No one else is going to do it. And that's another thing to me about reparations. I'm tired of asking people for something that was owed to us. They gonna let us do it. We have it. We done built, like you said, Astoria, we built this country. We did it. So we don't have to ask anybody or wait for anybody to do it. We can do it.
I have a question for both of y'all. So, and I may be first I'm gonna lead with this statement. My generation, millennials, whatever you want to call us, we sick or tired of we praying and we gonna march. It's like, what the hell we gonna do? Okay. So that's where this is coming from. So now I preface it with this. We talking about Juneteenth, but Tulsa happened, we just celebrated 100 years, all that stuff that occurred, Black Wall Street and many of Black Wall Streets that were in all around the Americas, right? And if we really pay attention to history, we don't freaking need white people or any other culture of people at all, because we have an example here, just here in Houston. If you ever heard of Jack Yates High School, anything about Jack Yates, within about 4 years of him being freed, right, he was able to buy all this land, that's emancipation area and all this stuff, and just do all this other stuff with Black people and really start creating and generating wealth, right? But of course, angry white people get upset and try to take shit away. So my question is, are you for the, I want to be equal, right? I want to be equal, or like, can we just go back to being segregated? Because in my mind, you can take me off the plantation, put me in a whole nother place by myself. Let me do what I got to do. Leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered with you. Like, I don't want nothing from you. Like, let me just be segregated, like for real, right? And I'm asking that, like, just as a real question, because like I said, I told you this, my mom went to the first integrated high school in this. So I understand what was fought for. I do understand that. But I also look at the back end of when we was by ourselves, we was just fine. We created this shit. Didn't need nobody. They just came over there and started messing with us and was like, nope, we're gonna take that away.
Okay, so that was a lot.
I know. But since we're having a conversation,
we can have the conversation. Let's have it. So, and a lot of this come from my dad is from the South, and so my dad came up north not because he wanted to. He left from Memphis to Chicago because my dad was kind of like a U.S. story. He wasn't having it. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, I can't. He spoke to someone, a white person, and he kind of had to leave. And he just couldn't. The South stuff wasn't for him. You know what I'm saying? So having that history and having understanding what he went through, I did it. I went through it, but not like him. Mine was not blatant like that. Ours was like you said, the systematic racism or the undercover racism. His was just blatant. I don't know what's best. I mean, sometimes I want it to be blatant like that. So I get where you're coming from. I understand it. And I know that we can do this on our own, but we got to get so many people with that same mindset. When we try to tell people about how they can generate wealth, how they can be in a community, how can they do this? I'm in real estate. I try to get the people that's here, right here, showing them that you need to invest in here. Oh, I'm not going to invest in there. Look at that. That looks like crap. Do you see the bike lanes that they're building? Do you see this? Do you see that? And that goes back to you, Anita. When people is trying to give you wisdom and teach you wisdom, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? So do I think we can do it, Astoria? Yes. But do I think it's feasible? I'm going to be honest. No, because you got to get that buy-in. Right now, you got so many people that, and I know you've heard this. Oh, I got my car done here. at the black shop and this happened, oh, I need to go to the white people. I know you've heard it a lot of times. Oh, that's a black business. They can't do whatever, and I'd rather go to
the white people treat you just as bad. Though.
And the white people treat you just as bad, but it's our mentality. So do we think—
Who taught you that though? That's my next question. Who taught you that? Who taught you that was the mentality? Like that's—
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to say, I come from a background. I can tell you my dad didn't teach me that, but I look at my grandparents who are very strong. My grandparents and great-grandparents, very strong Black people, but they still had some of that mentality that the white person was, their business was better. I mean, I can, I love my grandparents. They were pro-Black, pro-whatever, but it was still in their head. They were just that far away from slavery. They've been through, I think my great-grandmother was, her mom was a slave. So they were so close to that, and they had that mentality. I'm so far from that. I don't have that mentality. I have the opposite mentality. So who taught us that? Our ancestors taught us that. I mean, right. I'm not.
That was the point I was making. That's the Willis syndrome. That's the systematic oppression. That's what I was saying. Like, I mean, you said it, but I was just saying, like, that is the point I was making. Like, taught you that. Them taught you that, right?
Yes.
Carrying on them, right? Even though we're not carrying on them, if that's the that's
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
not that it's right or wrong, but not that it's right or wrong what they were teaching us, right? They were teaching the best that they knew how.
Exactly.
Right. But the thing is, if we're gonna address a problem and find a solution, we gotta go back further than just this the day we was free. No, how much mental anguish, how much trauma, how much shit that you don't even realize that you go through, right? That you don't even think about. You automatically make decisions off of something that you were taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the point I was making.
Yeah, we said it. I just
feel bad about being.
I just had to go through my story time to get to it, but
no, I got you. No, and that's what I wanted you to say, because I can say it from my experience, but from your story, you basically laid out the picture of what I was saying. I'm just saying the educational or economic terms or whatever to exactly right. And most people don't even know what Willie Lynch syndrome is. They don't understand any of the things that happen systematically and that have been happening for years. Just like when we're talking about, the 13th Amendment and all that, it's literally like it just transitioned from one thing to another. So it's almost as if like every single time they do something, they're like, oh, we're going to give you this. But on the back end, they fixing all the other stuff. So it doesn't even matter what they just did in the front. And that's why I just can't get with the whole, okay, we're going to celebrate June 19th, whatever. I've been celebrating. You ain't giving me nothing new. Ooh, I get a paid holiday. Whoop-de freaking do.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. After this message, stay tuned.
Since meeting you, I have had the pleasure of meeting other people among your team who have given me the knowledge to be able to take my business to the next level. So I'm definitely looking forward to a better year from here on out. So thank you very much for placing those people in my path.
Hello, my name is George Paisley, and I just finished my first initial consultation with DJ the Money Coach. And I have to say, it was very enlightening. I enjoyed it. He hit me to some game. In the first 2 minutes, he told me about a way I could save taxes on next year. So even if I didn't work with him, I left away with that knowledge. To anyone else out there thinking about it, at the very least, take the time, have a talk with him, and let him show you how he can help you live that pom-pom lifestyle.
Stop wishing better, start doing better, and move forward with somebody that has not only the knowledge, the skills, the talent, and the team to help you go where you want to go. I'll get more than my money's worth. If I could spend a few grand, several grand on a piece of luggage, I could spend a little bit to get a lot of it in the long run. So if you're thinking about doing better, stop thinking, start doing, and definitely get down with the pom-pom lifestyle.
I'm gonna add to what you said, Tonia, regarding the piece about helping and being able to have the wisdom. I think we're still at the point of without vision, we will perish. We don't have a vision for that. We don't have a plan of action that says this is what's supposed to be happening, who needs to come in and help that process as well. We do have to stop businesses you expect to be treated differently than you do it. One lady just put a bad review on Google. I responded to her personally. Then she says, I want to cease and desist. I said, well, ma'am, you called me. So that's what you get. I mean, you didn't, nothing happened. Nothing, you can't speak to why I treated what you thought happened, but you would have let this happen somewhere else. I tried to help you, but you didn't respect the fact that I tried to help you. And that's okay. I have to take that. At the same time, other people are great with me. So it's one of those things where we make consent what I hate. I taught some third graders a few years ago, and they were getting into it about hair and talking about each other. I said, how about y'all be the first group of Black women who learn how to get along? Stop talking about her hair. Stop talking about her hair. Stop talking about each other in a negative fashion. Be positive about what's going on. Help her up. Don't push her down. She doesn't need any help in getting down to the ground. She did it all by herself. So that's one of the things we don't do either, is being able to help the next woman do her thing and help her and give her a hand. Some of us do it great, but as a whole, we need some work.
I agree.
It's healing that trauma, baby. We got to heal that past trauma.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Nick, you were going to mention the next step. Was that what you were headed toward when we cut you off?
Oh no, I was just going to say I was going to ask Astoria, what does a paid holiday even mean to you when you're an entrepreneur?
Shit.
Nothing. We were working.
For me, it means my employees saying that, do I have to work? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow.
Yeah, y'all are essential workers.
We're essential workers. That's right.
We essential workers. It don't mean nothing. I'm gonna work. But what I always do though, like, I still work for a corporate brand, right? And on Juneteenth, as long as I can remember, I don't go to work. I don't care what they say. And I have plenty of friends that are in corporate America, and before they made this a holiday, we would all, like, our intent was, it don't matter what day Juneteenth is on, I'm taking that day, day after that. So if it fall on Monday, I'm taking the week off. Bye. See you. Right. Yeah. And so we've always done things like that. So, we got to go against the grain. And so I just have good people around me that agree with those types of things and have always been doing it. Because don't send me no email and talk about, you can't be off on this day because it's a Saturday and it's busy. I don't care.
You don't care.
Juneteenth.
I remember talking about Juneteenth. I remember, the same for Martin Luther King's holiday. I remember as a child, we didn't get it off. I mean, it wasn't, I'm not sure exactly what day it became. You all educators can probably tell me when it definitely became a federal holiday. But I remember they gave you the option, or even before that. And I remember my mom writing notes to my teachers in school saying my child will not be in school on this day. So I truly remember that where, my mom wrote the letter, then it became an option, and then it became a federal holiday. So, but again, I'm circling them back to why it's not gonna, I think we have so much to do to make this meaningful, to make it us really have freedom in 2021. We got so much work to do, but hopefully by making it a federal holiday, maybe they were thinking to appease us with it, but if we can just act and do the things that we can, like maybe on that day investing in only spending in Black businesses, just different things to really, if everybody do a little of their part, no matter what they thought or how they thought it was gonna do just to appease, but it's up to us to do something to make the difference. Now can't solve everything, but we can do a little something to progress a little bit. So. Oh yeah.
Well, if you decide you want to come to Houston for Juneteenth, honey, I'm gonna treat you just like I treat everybody else. We're gonna go to every single Black place.
Yeah.
So get your black dollar together.
I can't wait.
Ride around.
I can't wait. I love
That's
it.
what I did last year. That's what I did. Even in the pandemic, I did that last year because I knew Beck was struggling. So I literally bought black on purpose. Like anybody I could buy online from, like all that. And I did that again this year. So I'm just.
So let me ask this, and I kind of said it in my thing, and because I've heard this, hey, if you celebrating Juneteenth or whatever, you can't possibly celebrate the 4th of July. I just want you all's take on that, or
I wasn't even considered a human being when 4th of July was whatever holiday or whatever, right? Now, what I do is I do give thanks to my ancestors that fought in any type of American war, period. My uncle was in the military, so is my grandfather, things like that. But no, my dad celebrates 4th of July, but I don't. I'm anti every damn American holiday ever in life. Like Christmas, all of it. I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. Leave me alone. But it's just because I wasn't considered a person. Like I wasn't even considered a human to you when you decided to make this country.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tonia, when you brought that up, I was gonna say that should be we should do that topic around that time. You know, what was that
next week?
Next week or the week after next. Yeah, well, yeah.
No, let's do it next week.
For it to come out.
Let's come out on July 4th.
Yeah. So
damn, let's do it next week.
Yeah.
Well, edit that out, Nick. Edit that out.
Oh yeah. I mean, no.
Here's the thing. I feel like this, as far as being able to celebrate the 4th of July, the best y'all gonna get out of me is watching the fireworks. That's because I like fireworks, and I wanted to be a pyrotech. And when I found out what they did and what their name was, I've been looking for schools to be a pyrotech, and I just feel like I can do that. But that's all about it. I'm not. There's a lot that there's a lot wrong, and we need to start somewhere. And so there's a piece where no one cares if I'm not celebrating, but it also needs to turn into another day. Well, you know what? And let's promote Black businesses and go see what they're doing and what are you doing today and whatever that looks like in our situation. I mean, so it does need to be a posture of what are we doing? What are we going to do? What is our statement? What is our framework? What is our frame of mind? What are we going to do with this time? And make a statement that says this is what we're doing. I think that we do not have, I don't necessarily think we need a spokesperson, but we don't have any movements. We don't have any, something has to happen for us to get excited. And I think that's the wrong approach. I think we need to revise our approach to where we say, you know what, 4th of July is coming and let's celebrate Black Business Day. Make it something that's our own. Make it something that's about us and that we can really get behind, because I think that it's subconsciously celebrated just because it's a day off, it's a time to gather, but we don't do anything with it that's proactive. Does that make sense? Yeah. We get together as a family, we get together as friends, but we do the thing we would do on any other day that we got together with those same people. It's not like, oh, we're celebrating the 4th of July. It's today we're going to sit around and play dominoes and play cards and talk about family and get together with the kids and see who's new and whatnot. But we don't have a proactive approach about now what do we do and what is our financial impact on this moment. And that's when people start paying attention, to when your money starts moving around. And that's what we have to be able to focus on, a message in our money.
Freedom 2021. Yes.
Yeah.
What do freedom look like in 2021? And beyond. And so, again, and you said it, Anita, economics, all of that in our community, you said it. So, but again, I just want to get that, we can explore it a little more. So, because I can't play I can't play a little devil's advocate, but we'll
we'll say that for next week.
We'll say that.
Because I sure want to hear it, so I can't wait till next week, baby. I'm ready.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. After this message, stay tuned.
The team, the DJTMC team, has created a financial plan for me, created a policy wherein I can create wealth for my great-granddaughter, who's 7 years old now. And because I didn't have these documents in place, I'm getting assistance with my will, power of attorney, and all of the documents that you would need to ensure that your policy, that your estate will be executed as you desire it to be done. I strongly recommend the DJTMC team.
You're looking at a satisfied customer. If you're like me and you have had problems with credit, you don't know enough about how to manage credit, you don't have enough money to invest in the stock market or set aside for retirement, then I encourage you to give DJ the Money Coach and his team a call. He has helped me, and I'm sure he'll help you. Shout out to Erica Williams for having DJ on your show.
Yeah, one thing I did want to mention before we do close out about these corporations. I just had it on my screen. Did you all hear about that IKEA in Atlanta and their Juneteenth menu? All right, so IKEA in Atlanta, I guess they created a Juneteenth menu for, I guess, their employees and their customers, and the items on the menu were as follows.
Black Eyed Peas.
Look out! Okay, so look out for our special menu on Saturday, which will include fried chicken, watermelon, mac and cheese, potato salad, collard greens, and candy yams.
There ain't no goddamn Willie Lynch syndrome. Shit. Let me not.
Yeah. So needless to say, a lot of people,
all black people don't eat
were
fried
feeling
chicken.
that.
Wow.
Yeah. So
somebody didn't go through any insensitivity training or any of that kind of stuff. So that should have never ever happened. So that's
here's the question though. This is what I need to know. I would be curious to call the manager of the cafe and find out that she was black. Because what happens is that we assume that somebody tried to do that in order to attract us. But really what happened was that she's in Atlanta. Number one, that's a black city. And number two, you have to ask, how otherwise would they try to honor something like that and not do that?
The same
and
thing.
Who do they ask? Who did they ask that question? But again, I was curious if we got on the phone and called and said, who is the manager? Who made this menu? And if the team is African American and they said, this is what we want to eat because we already have to work anyway. And so for the people who come, this is what we want to serve. Was that them? What was the motive behind that? Was that their decision? And so, we have to ask ourselves, again, what is going to be acceptable? We're upset about it. Why? Because if they hadn't done anything, then what would we be saying? And I'm just asking the question. My question is, what if they didn't do anything your mayor is black and your city is predominantly African American? So if you don't do anything in honor of Juneteenth, then what would we say then?
Don't do anything.
Yeah, I think when they do this, I always had to look at, when you do stuff, think about it. And one of the things is, how would it look like in a newspaper? That's a lot of times when you're looking at that, it's called the newspaper syndrome. When you put in a newspaper, would that make you change your mind before you do anything? And so think about it. It got in a newspaper. You have to do these thoughts. This is something, I don't care. This is IKEA. It's a big brand. It's going to go outside of Atlanta and whatever. So someone should have thought about that, about how it would look on the outside, no matter, even if they did want this. You see what I'm saying? So I just think I just think IKEA's leadership didn't really take it, they didn't look at the whole picture with that. Because guess what? I'm sitting up here saying the same thing. Astoria saying the same thing. Nick saying the same thing. I'm just saying, and there's so many people that's outraged, and I understand what you're saying. Let's before we do it, let's get the whole story. But sometimes you can avoid that by thinking about it and thinking it through. Doing nothing, put up there, hey, IKEA celebrates Juneteenth. You know,
that's what I was saying. Do exactly what Starbucks did, what other places did. We honor Juneteenth. Like, put a message, just like they do for Pride Month. They don't give no brand new umbrellas or whatever, right? They just say we accept everybody. That's good enough. You ain't got to change no menu. You ain't got to do nothing spectacular because ain't nobody really paying attention anyway. But do nothing. It's fine. It's fine. Like Starbucks said, we appreciate, you know, African American culture, and we celebrate Juneteenth with you. We honor and celebrate with you. The same thing that they do for Veterans Day. We honor and celebrate our veterans, right? Like something so simple, right? And no one says anything about that. They're like, oh, we're so happy that they celebrate. If they had just said, we honor and celebrate, you know, Juneteenth, right, or whatever, right?
Yeah, that was a leadership issue. They failed. They failed in the leadership in corporate with that. So
yeah.
So you know, this article says as many as 33 workers didn't show up to work in response, causing the store's manager to apologize via internal email. She said, "I truly apologize. The menu came off offensive." Okay. So
was the manager black or white or native?
You know what, Story? It doesn't matter what the manager was because they had to get through leadership. Leadership failed, period. You know, we've all been in corporate. So
I agree.
That should have never gotten passed.
Only thing I was going to say is, you know, we have some Uncle Toms. So I was just going to say it could have been a black.
Oh. That's
Sorry, Onedia, don't be laughing at me.
no, I think that's what Anita was kind of touching on too. You know, with assuming that they were not black. You know, so it says that this wasn't sufficient for forgiveness, and the worker said the controversy could have been easily avoided if only people of color had been included in the team that chose the menu. None of the co-workers who sat down to create the menu, no one was black. The following day, the store manager told CBS a new revised menu was released. The updated version included collard greens, cornbread, mashed potatoes, and meatloaf. And Sunday's menu, fried chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens.
All they did was split it up.
and took off the watermelon.
It took off the watermelon. that is
all black people don't eat watermelon, y'all.
Yeah. Yep. I love me some watermelon though, but no, everybody don't.
Me too. I got me a big old watermelon from Heb yesterday with the seeds in.
Ooh, with the seeds. Oh. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I gotta make y'all laugh though. I asked my mama, I said, Mama, who told y'all if we eat the seeds, we was gonna grow watermelon in our belly? Like y'all
yeah, where did that come from?
My mama, I remember as a kid, them saying, don't eat them seeds, watermelon in your belly.
Yes.
And now I be looking for a seed in watermelon. I'm like, I don't want to eat nothing that don't have no seeds in it.
That's right. The seeds make it sweeter and good, real good. So
Anita rubbing her head. She like, right.
Well, I mean, I'm upset about the IKEA thing now because my thing is this. You're right, Tonia. The sensitivity training is not readily available, and then they don't know. They don't know, and so when you jump out there, you like. Most leaders will ask you, well, who did you vet this with? Who did you pass this through? Who did you ask these questions of? And who knew that the whole African-American staff was just not going to show up when they promoted this menu? You know, again, it's back to what do we want? What is it that we want? Because there's a lot of people trying to give us something. But the question becomes, what do we want? And what are we going to live with? What are we going to be okay with being honored with? What is it that we want? Was it insensitive? Yes. Did they do that for Martin Luther King's birthday? That would be another question I have. You know, how long have you been doing this? And then, you know, we have to also look at the fact that other cultures love the food in our culture. You know, you look at where they stand in line to eat, and they're like, "Oh, we had some soul food," and I'm like, "Okay, all right." So that's what they know. It's all about what they already know. And so I tell people all the time, I say to you what I intend for you to repeat. And we're not saying enough information for them to repeat. In the future, IKEA and whoever else is going to put together a menu, you know, talk to us about why is it appropriate or why is it inappropriate. You know, we're not all speaking in the same, we're not all speaking and using the same voice. So again, I'm still on the fact that we need a message, and we need to manage that message, manage that you know, whatever that's going to be. But if it's that, they need to know, because all they thought they did. I mean, I don't know if I'm mad. I'm mad about the fact that the employees walked out, though. I'm mad that they didn't come to work, because that's gonna hurt them. Somebody's gonna take that too far, and they're gonna be penalized for taking a stand. And I don't like that. That I can't stand. I can't work that out. You know, we still dealing with the Colin Kaepernick thing behind that. Same concepts. I just don't like that. I want people to get it right. I do. But I do need you to have something to work with when you do get there.
I think in the current climate that we're in right now, I think the problem is here's the real problem that we have to find the solution to. It's not just like we need to do our own community healing, but the other part, white people don't know any better. They don't know the history of it, and they depend on us to tell them stuff. And so I am at a place where I ain't got to educate you on shit. Open up a damn book, read it, understand. Like, here's your sensitivity training right here. Do you know the meaning behind soul food? Do you understand, like, this was the only stuff that we could eat? Like, I'm not saying the specific meaning that they have, but the things that they're portraying, do you know why it was like that? You know what I mean? So it's not just us educating ourselves, but also educating them. And I'm just not for educating no more white people. And in the current climate that we're in with George Floyd stuff and everything that happened and them trying to fix that, they are sensitive and they think that anything like, oh, let's, oh my God, we don't want to say such and such, so let's just give them something. And it's like, no, don't just give me anything. How about you talk to me? Ask me a question. I promise I won't, you know, bite your head off. But if you ask me a question, I'm sure I'll probably guide you to a resource where you can find out the information on your own, because I'm tired of teaching you. How about that?
And there you go.
There it is. Yeah. And there's plenty of people out there, you know, writing think pieces and giving you the top 5 or top 10 list of books to read about, you know, book. Well, I saw one headline of books you should read for Juneteenth. So the information is out there. It's not like it's hard for them to find. So
they're just lazy. They're lazy. That's that slave owner mentality. Oh, I'm just gonna get them to do it for me. That's a whole nother story. We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna talk about that. We done.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and close out, so we can close out with last parting words on the Juneteenth topic, and then promote yourselves. Then we close out on that. So who wants to start? Tonia, you want to start?
I will start. Yeah, wow, what a wonderful conversation. Juneteenth. I would just say I'll close on, again, I'll go back to awareness. Can we fix everything? No. But hopefully this holiday, this federal holiday, will bring awareness to people that may have not known anything about Juneteenth, and that they will go and find out more about it through the books, through the tools. Also, can we fix everything? Again, no. But again, I think that if we as a people can do a little something, do something, on that day and beyond, maybe it become a habit. Let's buy from our community. Let's do something during that day to, again, provide what you said, Nick, freedom in 2021 and beyond. Our freedom is building ourselves up, having economic wealth in our neighborhoods, bringing other people with us, sharing our knowledge, having unity and not segregating ourselves from one another and lifting each other up. All those things are, and loving each other. That's the main thing. So if we can do that, I think that's a step towards Juneteenth. And as for myself, you can, if you have any real estate needs, any consulting, you can find me at GreatLakesPMG.com, and you can follow me at Tonia Champion Archibald on Facebook. And there you go.
I'm gonna go in the middle, so I don't be last this time.
Okay, Astoria, go ahead.
So, all I'm gonna say is, I think I agree with everybody tonight. I think this was an amazing conversation. I love to see different perspectives. I think it's amazing that women can come together and agree and disagree all at the same time and make it beautiful, right? And no hard feelings, no nothing. Like, we still love each other at the end of the day, right? And that's what this is, healthy conversation that we should be having. And so what I'll say is, when it comes to us economically, let's just not do it on June 19th or 4th of July or on MLK Day. Let's actively do it every single day. Like, let's actively change the way we spend our dollar so that it looks better for us. And economically, we actually begin to grow the structures that we say we want to have, right? So doing that. And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I still ain't got my Facebook account back yet. I'm working on it.
Oh, man.
But you can find me at Miss_STORI, so Miss Story. Of course, on Mondays, I'm talking about money. So Money Mondays. Matter of fact, I probably should just talk about spending the black dollar next Monday. So one of you ladies might need to come on and we're gonna talk about spending the black dollar. But
invite me, I'll come. Invite me. I'll come.
Yes, you are invited. This is your official invite. So that, and then what else? I mean, you can find my business page, The I Am Queen Hair. So THEIAMQUEENHAIR. So all your texture hair care needs, Reiki, all that good stuff. And I got a special announcement happening on July 1st. So y'all just be on the lookout, turn y'all notifications on, be ready.
Yay.
All right. Go ahead and take it on home, Anita.
So I will say that I think that we do need to figure out how to manage our money and to manage our message. I think that is very much what we need to be working toward going forward. I think that we need to really figure that out. So I think that I'm going to help get that together. I'm going to spend some time on that and get some energy to that process. You can find me for any consulting for business education, personal education, coaching and consulting, entrepreneurship type things at my Twitter is Onedia Gage. You can find me Onedia Gage on Facebook, and my Instagram and we don't have a great relationship yet. We're working toward that relationship. I'm on there somewhere, but you don't send a message. My response time is 0. Bless my love. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better as I grow up in this whole age. But I will say that we are actually, you're right, Astoria. This was a beautiful conversation. This is way beautiful conversation. So we must do more. So Nick, you got to get us in some more times, man. We got to do some more stuff. All right. Thank y'all so much. And I had a ball personally.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Astoria, Tonia, and Oneida for coming on and contributing. This was a beautiful show. And that 4th of July topic, so Black people celebrate the 4th of July. That's going to be even more beautiful. So I can't wait for that. And I'm sure the people can't wait to see that. So, I represent the 7 Spheres of Money on behalf of our team captain, DJ the Money Coach. You can find us on Instagram at the 7 Spheres of Money, YouTube, the 7 Spheres of Money. Go ahead and subscribe to that channel if you haven't already. The website is djthemoneycoach.com. And as always, we wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that is plenty of money, peace of mind, and we want you to come join us on the beaches of the World Club. And your beach doesn't have to be next to sand or water, even though Astoria's beach is usually next to a sand and water, but your beach doesn't have to. Your beach is wherever you find your personal freedom, your peace of mind in 2021 and beyond. So you have been watching Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent? You want to have consumer debt freedom? You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses through real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-module course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and it puts you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase.